Showtime, what's going on, everybody? It's Ron Brown, LMT, the People's Fitness Professional, alongside my co-host.
Mikey Fever.
And this is a New Yorker's perspective. We got the brother, Dr. Alim Bey, back in the building.
Guards in the building.
Let's talk about it. I mean, the last time you were up here, you had some interesting things to say, and I would like to go into that. But basically, in the last one, if you didn't see it, the way we podcast, the way we start off interviews is we get people to kind of like get a like a history. We like to get their history.
Yeah, introduce themselves out there,
right
platform.
Exactly. So we got his history, and then he made some claims that he said he can show and prove, and he brought them today. So one of the claims was, Dr. Alim Bey, I would like for you to say what you said before.
Yes, I am the first cousin, 4 times removed, of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And the first cousin of Prophet Noble Drew Ali is Charles Mosley Bey. As well as also related to them is Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yep. He did say that. He's going to hurt the Dr. Alim God, you're going to hurt the people.
Dr. Alim Bey, your Wi-Fi is a little iffy right now. I don't know if you can move.
Yeah. You said my Wi-Fi is iffy?
Yeah. Cloudy. No, I think it's the connection.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, let's just go into it. So your connection is now is better. Okay, right. So now can you say that one more time, brother?
Yes, I am the first cousin of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, 4 times removed. Prophet Noble Drew Ali's first cousin is Charles Mosley Bey, and related to them is Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Okay. All right. So you're going to start off presenting the facts with what? With your ancestry?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to put it up.
We're going to go to ancestry.com.
All right. Okay, we're there.
All right. So we go to trees. Go to my family tree. Then we go to find tree. All right. So here we have, let me put this out. Bring this up a little bit for y'all can see. All right. James L. Drew is the son of Frederick D. Drew, who is my 3rd great-grandfather. His wife is Lucy, or Eloise. They call her Lucy, but her name was Lucy Mosley. Lucy Mosley is the sister to Charles P.H. Mosley. Charles P.H. Mosley is senior to Junior, who is known as Charles Mosley Bey. Now, interestingly, Prophet Noble Drew Ali father is known as John A. Drew. Now, he married Eliza Turner, which I'll get to that in a minute. But Prophet Noble Drew Ali came to live with James L. Drew. He himself was a Drew, as he was the son of John Drew. So he was adopted into James' family, James and Louise family. This is the aunt in which that Prophet Noble Drew Ali spoke about that burned him or cast him into fire. I don't know if y'all know the science behind that.
I think I heard something like that.
Yes, that was Louise or Lucy who did that to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. All right, so that is the problem that he had with Lucy or Louise, which happens to be the aunt to Charles Mosley Bey. All right, who technically would be. Let me show you who. Let me go to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Okay. As you see here, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, son of John A or W. Drew, Eliza Turner. John Drew, brother is Frederick D. Drew. Frederick D. Drew is my third great-grandfather. His daughter was Sarah Trent Drew. Her daughter was Emma Moorhan Trent. Her son was Joseph J. Butler. And his son is Ronald J. Butler, who is my father.
All right.
And as you see here, this is me.
All right, we got to rewind that because you know why? We got to
let's go up.
Let's go all the way back up because we want people to really analyze this.
Right. All right, so this is me, Alim Bey, known as Leonard Jerome Dancy, or my mother's given name would have been Damian Days Butler. So here, my father is Ronald J. Butler. This is him. Maybe I need to make it a little bit bigger. Okay. His father is Joseph J. Butler, Eleanor Moorhan, Emily Moorhan Trent, related to the daughter of Sarah Trent Drew, who is the daughter of Frederick D. Drew, who lived 1837 to 1919. Frederick D. Drew is the brother to John Drew, Eliza Turner, which happens to be the mother and father of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Prophet Noble Drew Ali's sister is Corella Turner Drew. She married Johnny Gaston. Some say Johnny Aaron Gaston. Johnny Gaston's son and Corella's son was Johnny Gaston Jr., who married Verdiasi Tierra Tunica Gaston L. Bey, known as the Empress of the Washita. Their son is Frederick J. Washington, who's still living, or Washita, who's still living, known as King Joe of the Washita. And the present Empress, Wendy, is my first cousin one time removed. Now, Eliza Turner, mother and father is Henry J. Turner and Sarah Turner. All right. Now, this is interesting because they are mentioned in the landmark case of the heirs of Turner versus the United States, in which that they won back 68,883 acres of land from the United States, showing and proving that the so-called Louisiana Purchase never was purchased and is still known as the Washita proper to this day. Now, Henry J. Turner is the son of Louis F. J. de Bourbon and Annie Maria, and they are Prophet Noble Drew Ali's great grandparents, which means that they are also my great grandparents. All right. Now, all right, let me go. Now we go to Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad, mother and father, William Poole, or Poole, Maria Hall Muhammad, as she was known as. And we have Irwin Poole, Peggy Taylor. We have John C. Poole, Eliza S. Jordan. Then the parents of John C. Poole is Samuel C. Poole and Lucretia Poole. The parents is Samuel Poole and Abigail Poole. And then we have Samuel Pope and Sarah Sleffer, excuse me. In which that goes back to Samuel Pope, Sarah Brawburk, these are people who are now famous in history if you go and do your research on Samuel Pope. Elizabeth Burden, or Brenton. You can look some of these people up on the internet and find out that they was pretty famous in history. And it goes back to the Poole family from out of Europe, which is part of a black nobility family from out of Europe. So that is the connection in which that we was talking about. Are there any questions concerning anything?
Yeah, so the Poole family, right?
Yes.
Now, you said they're connected.
Which was spelled many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it was spelled P-O-L-E, like Pole, or spelled P-O-O-L or P-O-O-L-E or P-A-U-L, P-A-U-L-K. So it was so many different ways that it was spelled throughout history. And I thought that was very interesting within itself.
Okay, now how would the Poole family be connected to Charles Mosley Bey?
All right.
I got a question after this. I want to.
It was through Prophet Noble Drew Ali that they was related, in which that because of the marriage between James L. Drew and his wife Lucy, and then of course the brother of Lucy is Charles Mosley Sr.
Right. Okay, I see. Okay, here we go.
I have a question for you, Dr. Alim.
Yes.
With these claims, have you ever contacted anybody from the Nation of Islam or Elijah Muhammad's offsprings to speak to them about this?
No,
to
I haven't.
To present it to them?
No.
All right.
No, I'm still in the process of putting everything together, but these are just some of the clues that I've discovered thus far. There's many more, such as also related to the first president of the so-called United States, which would have been what they refer to. They call him John Hanson. He is also in the same family line.
Okay, got you. I got you. Because with information like this you're presenting, people are gonna
Wait a minute.
kind of frenzy.
But we gotta think about what he just presented before he went to the Poole family. So
yeah,
he went into how he had a connection, or he has a connection to be Prophet Noble Drew Ali's fourth cousin removed.
Yes.
Right now, Prophet Noble Drew Ali is connected to Elijah Poole.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, and
not saying it's not possible. Is not saying it's not possible, but
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the connection between Poole or Elijah Poole or Elijah Muhammad connection to Charles Mosley Bey is that it's through Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Now, now any other relations you find? I think I don't want to misquote because this is real sensitive. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Now, did you say anything about a law or
no?
Okay, you didn't say. Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. But that would be interesting in order to find out if Father Allah is part of this bloodline too. But no, I haven't found anything on that.
Okay, now how did you figure this out? How did you put the pieces to the puzzle together? I mean,
well, if you see the green leaf that is there above certain people's name, that give you what is known as a clue. And then once you tap onto it, and I'll show you. For example, I'm gonna click onto the green leaf that's above Prophet above Elijah Muhammad's head here. Then it takes me here. All right. So it gives you clues. For example, Elijah Poole. See how they spell his name here?
Mm-hmm.
Without the E. Elijah Poole. So you can review it. All right, everything match up. Okay, born October the 10th. Yeah, he was a Libra, 1899. All right. Boom, boom. All right. All right. That looks like that is confirmed information.
Mm.
You know, you can say yes, it's confirmed, or maybe, or no, because that is one of the clues that they're giving you. Let's look here. Elijah Muhammad, 1928, Detroit, Michigan. Detroit, Michigan. We know he was in Detroit. He was part of Temple Number 4, in which that was formerly under, that was over by the individual who ended up betraying Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And everybody should know that individual name. Y'all know that individual name?
Yeah. What's his name for the listeners, for the viewers and listeners?
Like I said, this is sensitive, so I don't want to say. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
It's for the listen. At the end of the day, people got to evolve. We can't be zealots, man. You know what I'm saying?
But
So
no. I want to hear. I want to hear it. Yeah.
Well, remember, it was him and Claude Green Bey, in which that who was the actual, I guess you said, curator of the Unity Hall there in Chicago. He helped actually get the Unity Hall for Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He was the business manager. That was the position of Claude Green Bey, who ended up getting killed behind Unity Hall, allegedly by 2 assailants, stabbed up, as well as also shot, which is supposed to have been by Allah El. Now, all right, and of course you can do your research on who is Allah El. All right, but the individual who was over or presided over Temple Number 4 in Detroit later left due to the conflict in which that occurred and the death of business manager Claude Green Bey, supreme business manager Claude Green Bey. And he ended up going on various trips around the world. He went to Turkey, went to Egypt, went to different places, and came back later on with his own version of Islam, you know, more so dedicated towards Sunni Islam. All right. But he was known as the Supreme Grand Governor. Okay. He was the Supreme Grand Governor. So if we put in we will pull up we come down. His name is Brother Lomax Bey.
Okay, so just to connect the dots, because there was like a space where, you weren't talking, and sometimes, especially with these phones, attention spans, right? So now you're connecting Lomax Bey to who?
Lomax Bey was the Supreme Grand Governor and was over Temple Number 4, where Elijah Muhammad was a member of.
Okay.
And when we seen that he was in Detroit in 1928, that was during that time period. And then Temple Number 4 goes on to become the first temple of Islam, what is known as the Allah's Temple of Islam, which becomes the first temple of the Nation of Islam later on. It was Temple Number 4.
So you're saying Elijah Muhammad was a member of the Moorish Science Temple?
Yes, he was.
I have heard that.
His name was Robert Poole Bey. Yes.
All right. Now there's a lot of controversy on online about that right now.
Yeah. Well, I have all the information on my website. They can go and read and study and decide if they want to accept the truth or not.
There gonna be a lot of angry Moors making videos.
No, not Moors, Nation of Islam.
Yeah, pardon me. Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. I'm not here to sugarcoat the family history.
Right.
That's just what it was. I have pictures of Elijah Muhammad standing behind Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
Really?
Yes.
Whoa! Can we pull those up?
Put that up.
I'm looking for it right now. Yes.
As Ron said, people take this very sensitive. People are very sensitive about this topic.
Yes, I understand. Very sensitive, but yeah.
Although many were not present, were not even alive in those times, back in those times, but they take it dear to heart, as if they were there. So
yes, that's true. That is very true, and I understand. All right, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Now I can get a better picture.
Now, while you're finding that, I don't know if you multitask well, but what made you look for your connection with did you look for your connection with the prophet through ancestry.com, or
no, I
happened to stumble upon it?
No, when I got to Frederick Drew, you talking about the prophet, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, when I got to Frederick Drew, and I was like, Drew, hold up, what's going on? What's going on with this? Well, who was Drew? Frederick Drew's brothers or sisters? What was the family relationship? And then I seen it was John Drew. I'm like, that's interesting. So that's how that came about.
Now, don't you find it ironic that you end up in this movement? And
yes, I do. The ancestors are always trying to bring us back to them. Yes.
Now it makes me want to look through my bloodline.
Yes, it's necessary, because it would give you a lot of information on why you feel the way you do and why you have the connections and, in certain things. For example, if we talking about DNA, we talking about genetic memory. And so, that make me understand now the reason why I felt the way that I felt about certain things just since I was a child, which I went over the last time when I was on here, so it makes a whole lot of sense. And I get more into it in a minute. Let me pull this up.
That DNA doesn't lie.
No, DNA doesn't lie.
That's very
That's
mathematical.
that's one thing, God. I found my mother. I found my mother and my father's people through DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I was looking for. I was looking for my mother and father.
Hmm.
I was not looking, you know what I'm saying, for Prophet Noble Ali or Elijah Muhammad or anyone else. I was just looking for my mother and father because it took me 50 years to find out who I was because I was adopted.
Wow.
So 5 years ago,
That's so weird, man. Like you got to think about that right there, man.
Yeah. So,
Like you didn't really know your family history.
no, I didn't know my family at all.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know my family at all. You know, so that was to have this information correlated, you know, within the last 5 years, you know, was something in which that was phenomenal for me. But this right here is part of the list.
Reconnecting?
Yes, can you see it?
Let me see. Let me see. Maybe you got to change.
Yes, change the screen.
This is dope. This is dope watching this, listening. I'm learning as well.
I think, brother Alim, you got to whatever you have here, take it off and then replace it with.
Okay, so on a stop screen.
Okay, there we go. Mm-hmm.
All right, and then present once again, right?
Yep.
Okay. Right. This is proof of the role in Detroit, Michigan, as you see here. This is 1928, July 3rd, 1928. Noble Drew Ali, Islam. All right. Then we come down. You will see somebody's name here. Who name is this here? Brother White, Robert, Poole, Bey.
I heard that name. I heard that the use of that name before.
There's a lot of Pools though. You got Robert,
Poole, but Robert Poole Bey, who is Elijah Muhammad brother, is John Poole Bey, and John pulled out a fez and put it on his head and said, "This is what we used to wear." Now I can show you that video as well, but let me show you. This is Noble Drew Ali here, and right behind him, diagonally, is who we refer to as Elijah Muhammad.
Oh, okay, I can see it.
Yeah, the silhouette. Yeah,
Nah, that's more than a silhouette, bro.
It's not a little.
Islam Moors.
Yeah, I just want to say zooming in. Okay, yeah, I see. I see. Yeah, the features. Yeah.
Okay.
I see it.
Okay. Now you said.
Now this is according to the Moorish elders. They say in the picture to the left, in the far back, Elijah Muhammad at the first Moorish Science Temple of America annual national convention of 1928.
To add on to what you were saying, I did see Elijah Muhammad's brother, John. He had there's a lecture he gave. He did had a fez on his head.
Yes,
I know you're talking about. I seen that lecture before. Yeah.
Yes, and he spoke about it. Yes. In fact, he tells you this is him right here with the fez on his head that he's speaking about it. And he says that in earlier times, he said we used to wear the fez. Now, this is Supreme Minister John Muhammad, who's known as John Poole Bey, at Temple Number 4, the brother of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, states that the NOI members used to wear the fez. And he pulls it from up underneath the podium and puts it on his head. This is the picture. Now,
what's up, Ron? Ron face is like.
No, you know, I've seen this many times, right? you know, and let's say, you know, people from the Nation of Islam, from what I've seen online, they get really, you know, up in arms about this. Like,
Yes,
but
they do. Yes, they do.
why though? My thing is like, if Elijah Muhammad was inspired and took some of the teachings
and
from,
he did, and he tells you this. He tells you in Theology of Time that he says, he speaks about Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He speaks about Marcus Garvey and say they was good brothers, good men, and he was trying to pull the Moors and the people who was from the camp of UNIA into the Nation of Islam. He tells you this in Theology of Time.
So they should be elated about this, because what he did, he amplified. He took the tools that he was given and he amplified it.
Exactly.
And did something, no shade to nobody, but something much more greater.
Right.
That produced a lot.
I'm gonna say this. I like divinely prepared. I like to, you know, where they say that in the prophet literature, divinely prepared.
Yes.
His teachings were, you know, the prophet's teachings were divinely prepared. The Nation of Islam teachings were divinely prepared, and the 5% Nation teachings were divinely prepared.
Yes, there we go. Sound good to me. No problem with that. Nobody should have a problem with that. Because we are all Asiatics, and they all three states that we are Asiatics. So what is the issue? What is the problem?
Right.
There is none. It's a continuation of the same family teachings.
They're all powerful to me. They're all powerful to me.
All powerful. So as we see here, this is the actual picture of 1934. Of it says right here, Prophet W.D. Fraud crowning Lost Found Brothers of Islam. And they was wearing the fez just as John Muhammad stated that they were.
Mm-hmm. And then they got out of using the fez for what?
Right. Because of the bad publicity that the Moors had at that time because of their intolerance. Of the intolerance of Chicago police and different authorities around the country. Exactly.
Mm.
Yes. All right. So,
Alim, are all these photos on your website?
Yes, they are.
Oh, that's peace. I'll check it out.
Go to my website and you can go to www.dralimlbey.com and go to Moorish Holy Temple of Science of the World page, and you can see all of this information. Also showing and proving about Master Farah Muhammad and who he was as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now his history and just himself, he's just more like a mystery to me. Like, so who was he? Like, where does he come from? Was he European? Was he half original? You know, was he Arabic? Whatever, you know. What was his history?
You don't mind if I take a little crack at that?
No, I don't have no problem with that.
According to Omar Shabazz, he had a documentary called "Oh My God, Master Farah Muhammad."
Yes,
and he mentioned that the brother was from India, something like that. He studied Islam, some from brothers in India,
and
he came over to the U.S. And then he had before his Nation of Islam, it was something else he had. And then, as you mentioned, they had a few members that were with them. One committed a murder of a white person, and they had a member like Ugan Ali. And go out there and get that documentary. You can also look on YouTube. Oh my God, Omar God, Master Farah Muhammad by Omar Shabazz. Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Omar Shabazz, man.
Oh, we supposed to have Omar Shabazz on the show a long time ago.
Yeah, we were supposed to. He wanted us in his documentary also.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, it has to be decoded.
Yeah.
So this is some of the information that I've discovered. We talking about Master Farah Muhammad. We know that he had 58 aliases. All right. After he left Honorable Elijah Muhammad and left him in charge of the Nation of Islam, he went back to Oakland, California, and opened a restaurant
and was there cooking until the time an individual by the name of Alim Bey Muhammad's son, let me just say that, Wafdi Muhammad contacted him. And he came back out from hiding, I guess you can say.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Hold on. Let's rewind. Okay.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so the Nation of Islam is already out. It's created.
Already created.
Okay. Now,
Right.
he then disappears.
Well, he leaves, right.
Okay.
According to Alim Bey Muhammad, he seen him off and he left, disappeared. But according to Wafdi Muhammad, he jumped on the plane and went to California.
Okay, and that's where he opened up a restaurant and he went there
Yes.
to be a cook.
Well,
And a business owner.
it was his own restaurant, so yes, he was the head chef of his own restaurant.
Okay. Now, what is his ethnicity?
His ethnicity is allegedly Indian. Some speculate Persian, Indian, however you want to refer to it as.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it is.
Now, I wonder what was his motivation to bring Asiatics here in North America to, the Nation of Islam, these teachings, and where did he get these teachings from? Like, what?
He was a Masonic Shriner. And within the teachings of Masonry and Shrinedom are the keys of who is the original man. The original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of planet Earth, father of civilization, God of the universe. Of course, we added in the father of civilization. So this is who we're talking about. And he's the one in which that proceeded to give us this information back. He's seen the plight in which that we was in all around the world, especially here in America, dehumanized, lynched, robbed, maimed, castrated, killed, murdered, for our land. He's seen all of this. The rituals in which that they have within Freemasonry, European Freemasonry, is mockery to that.
They call it cult murders.
Right. Especially within the shrine, where they is a straight mockery of Islam. They can eat pork or whatever else they do and say assalamu alaikum when they greet each other. Wa alaikum assalam.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what was going on. So why play? We can do the real thing, or do as real of a thing as you possibly could. All right. So what we find out that Elijah Muhammad challenged the Hearst Press, which had publicized the story and offered $100,000 to anyone who could prove Wallace Ford was an alias of Wallace D. Ford. Hazel Ford, the former common law wife of Wallace Dodd Ford, stepped forward with what she claimed was proof that Ford and Dodd were indeed one and the same. This is according to the FBI files. She also claimed to have a child fathered by Dodd or fraud. The money was never placed in escrow, and the matter was dropped. Now, I got a copy of their wedding certificate showing that they were married. Wally Dodd Ford, California, state certificate of marriage. A marriage certificate dated June 5th, 1924 was issued to Wally Dodd Ford and Carmen Trevino in Orange County, California. This is it here.
Wow. That's deep. But Alim, I heard Muhammad Ali spoke about this one time. He was on the
Yes,
phone with him. He
yes, he
spoke
was.
to him.
Yes, he
That's
did.
true.
Yes, it is.
Oh wow.
His
Okay, now, this picture right here, right?
the first wife of Muhammad Ali
Mhm.
said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So my thing is like, okay, with this brother here, right? These two pictures look different. Maybe he was younger in the other picture,
Right.
but they okay. I can see the ears.
Yes, the ears, the chin, the lips, the nose.
Yeah, and this is a mugshot too. A
Right. The
mugshot
thing
too.
is a mugshot, and then we talking about, you got a fez. Sometimes fezzes are tight on that head, depending on the size, and so it pulls up your face some.
That's deep.
But this is what Wallace Dean Farad, or Wafdeen Muhammad, I should say, said. He said he says in 1975, said in several speeches that he was in communication with the founders, said Master Farad Muhammad is not dead, brothers and sisters. He is physically alive, and I talk to him whenever I get ready. I don't talk to him in any spooky way. I go to the telephone and dial his number. Nevertheless, Wafdi Muhammad claimed that Farad had returned to the United States under the name Muhammad Abdullah. In 1976, yeah.
Yo, what were they doing though? Like, what was that about? Like, okay, like, all right, I'm running the Nation of Islam. We doing the Nation of Islam. All right, boom.
Right.
I leave, right? And then then Elijah Muhammad. Did they make up this story?
Somewhat.
Okay.
Well, you know what? The spaceship.
Understand that. Remember, he had 58 aliases. So obviously, he served time in prison or jail, and therefore, to protect his identity, this is what Honorable Elijah Muhammad did.
Okay.
Wow. But Wafdi Muhammad said there's no need to protect it now. Those things happened in 1934, 33, 34. And this is 1974, 5, and 6, and whatever, 1976, excuse me. So this is like a year after the death of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who passed in 1975. So this is when he's telling them, and this is the reason why he ends up forming the Balalian group from out of the Nation of Islam, because he was still in talks with Muhammad Abdullah, known as Master Farad Muhammad. In 1974, WD had appointed Muhammad Abdullah as Imam of Muhammad Mosque 77, where? In Oakland, California. The November 26, 1976 issue of the Nation Islam Journal, Balalian News, reports Muhammad Abdullah's first khutbah at the mosque and shows a photo. Balalian News, November 26, 1976 PDF. WD Muhammad did not state that Muhammad Abdullah was Farad until after Abdullah's death in 1992. So he was still protecting the identity also of Muhammad Abdullah, known as Master Farad Muhammad, until his death in 1992. And Abdullah himself never publicly claimed to be Farad. Why would he? Muhammad Abdullah himself denied that he was Farad, saying, it's all right to say that I'm Farad Muhammad for Wallace or Wafdi Muhammad. I taught him some lessons, but I'm not the same person who taught Elijah Muhammad, and I'm not God. However, in 1981, a Pakistani scholar, Z.I. Al-Sari, researched Farad's life and claimed that Farad was identical with Muhammad Abdullah. A Pakistani Ahmadiyya. Now, the Ahmadiyya was what Elijah Muhammad was known. He was a member of the sect before he
got with Prophet Noble Drew Ali and the Moral Science Temple of America in 1928, and he was also Masra Muhammad was a member of the Ahmadiyya Muslims also at one time during that time period in the 1920s. Well, so was according to most reports, so was Noble Drew Ali. So yeah. So here it says who have been an advisor of Elijah Muhammad since the late 1950s. So the same Pakistani, all right, Z.I. Al-Zari said that Masra Muhammad and Muhammad Abdullah was one in the same. And he would know because he was the advisor of Elijah Muhammad since the late 1950s. And who was the tutor of the son and eventually successor of Wafdeen Muhammad.
So that whole story about the mothership, Rod being the mothership is all. No, because I'm saying, because for some reason I'm noticing like
I'm at a loss for words, bro.
not me too, because I noticed in a lot of these groups they always refer to that mothership. Like you had,
Right.
mothership coming down with the missiles and everything. Then you had the NYPTALKSHOW talking that same thing with the planet.
Right.
Where does that vision come from, man? I know Ezekiel.
I mean, that is real. That is real stuff, real information. However, the interpretation of it becomes comical, but because it's a person's interpretation. But there are UFOs or UAPs, which now, of course, the United States verify that. If you watch all last summer, they verified that there are UFPs or UFOs in which that do exist. So we can't laugh at the Nation of Islam or even at the NYPTALKSHOW. They do exist. However, are they being manned by aliens? And where do these UAPs come from? Are they being manufactured by Raytheon, which is a missile company, or some other type of company that would be black market, under the sheets, under the wrap, as they would say, or is it being produced actually by beings in which that are off world? Now, I've seen both aspects in operation. I've seen a UFO, as we would say, in which that decloaked itself right in front of me. All right. I've seen UFOs in which that hovered over top of my head when I was 9 years old, as I spoke about the last time on the show, only 100 to 150 yards over top of my head. So they exist. There's no doubt about it. Now, who mans them? That's another story. Elijah Muhammad says we do, and I am definitely, I'm convinced that is the case. That we have interdimensional beings in which that can utilize those types of ships, and they are able to travel at tremendous speeds. We're talking about 24,000 miles, and make left and right turns, 90-degree angle turns with no problem, And then we have those who, such as Raytheon and different other missile companies or whatever we want to refer to them as. I say black market companies. What they do is, because my son used to work for Raytheon and he had to have a very high clearance. And he told me this. He said, "Dad, I'm not the one who I'm not 007." He said, "But I'm the one who make the gadgets for 007." All right. So I know that, that they're doing things in which that they should not be doing. And matter of fact, he ended up quitting Raytheon because he said him as a so-called black man was not going to go and kill brown people and allow for his ingenious to do that to people of color around the world.
So he ended up quitting, you know, a few years ago. But he was there for several years, giving his knowledge, you know, for they can make these type of weapons.
Got you.
You know, and as we know, according to what was called, I think it was last year, the year before last, when they did the UFO and UAP conference before Congress, they stated that the United States was actually had some crafts in which that crashed, in which that they was doing re-engineering on.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah,
The
so,
whole part from Roswell and the Germans, they got that
right,
information from German engineering. Yeah, the reverse engineering.
right, they doing reverse engineering. So that's what we have. We have some that are reverse engineered, and then we have some that are actual. Yeah.
Okay. Now, great explanation. You broke it all the way down. I hope you brothers and sisters look through this video from the start to now. Now, being that you're the prince of Washita Ding Dung Damunya, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Yeah, deduct the money.
Ding-Dung Damunya. Now that you're the prince of this nation, and what's the mission, or how is this organization moving forward? How is this nation moving forward? What's new with the nation? And also, would be the is there any way that this nation can join hands with the Moorish, the MST of A?
Yes, no doubt about it.
Okay.
All right, so I'm the crown prince of United Washita Deduct Damunya, which is the first nation state of the Empire Washita Deduct Damunya, which was accepted by the Empress herself in 2004, and her son King Joe during that same time period. And our mission is to uplift fallen humanity. It's never changed. This is, once again, the same family. So these are just different methods of the same strategy to get our people together. And it's to uplift fallen humanity. That has never changed. So we always need nationality, because nationality is the call of the day. So that means that you have to make a distinction between the name in which that they have for you on that birth certificate, which is known as your slave name or birth name or government name. And you have to come with an indigenous appellation, something in which that give you a distinction from that fraud in which that they did to you at birth. You know, so nationality is still the call of the day, and that is one of the purpose of United Washita is to help to rectify that fraud in which that took place at birth.
Okay. And I mean, is this nation growing, or is it I mean, what's the population like, if you can give that information?
Well, it's over 5,000 with just United Washita, and then of course there's thousands or more, which the Empress had over 20,000 when she was here. So we're talking about, according to the United Nations, they said that we only need 10,000 on a petition in order to be seen, or to be seen as a bona fide nation within a so-called nation, which of course we know is a corporation, but we ourselves would be able to govern ourselves as a actual nation. We already historically been recognized by Spain, by France, as well as also the United States, regardless of what they might say, because I have proof of the fact is that when the heirs of Turner versus the United States and the heirs won against the United States, that was proof in itself, because we beat them within their own court system.
Understood. So you still go through the process. You still have to go through the process of being recognized.
Well,
to the courts.
Well, put it this way. The Albion don't want to let anything go. All right. So
it is always going to be a challenge for us to move beyond the various gatekeepers at each of the crossroads.
I got you. I respect that. I got that.
Okay. Now, what are being that the Washita Nation and the Moorish Science Temple of America have very different ways of functioning as
Mhm.
as a I would say legal body,
Yes.
right? How can we still join hands or join forces in a sense?
Under the principles is that we still follow the teachings of Prophet Noble Ali. We have the exact same teachings, the 101s, or as they say, the 102s, the Moorish literature. We still read those. We still also read, of course, the Holy Quran Circle 7, which is one of the books in which that we all recommend as, you know, as entrance into Washington.
Wow. That's very, very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
The outreach of United Washington is the Moorish Holy Temple Signs of the World, which is the official name given by Prophet Noble Ali. The corporate name became Moorish Science Temple of America. The civic name was the Moorish Science Temple. You know, but the official name was always the Moorish Holy Temple Science of the World. And if you get any of the members back in 1926, 27, 28, before the change was made, you would hear them say Moorish Holy Temple Signs of the World.
Got you.
That's
Okay.
peace.
So we study the exact same information that the Moorish Science Temple of America does. He said we're just probably more so of a civic national. But remember, this is known as the Moorish Divine National Movement, or as Prophet Noble Ali and them used to say, this is the Moorish National and Divine Movement. All right. So it was always national, always dealing with nationality, always dealing with civics and law. The other aspect was the religion, which was talking about what divine, the divine
Right.
religion, you know. So we incorporate both aspects. However, we teach our people the civic side as well.
All right.
That's peace, man. That's deep.
You got any questions, Mike?
Now I was saying, if you could come back, I like to, you know, we always ask Moors this question about that whole nationality process. As you can see, people that's
Yes.
selling nationality packets and whatsoever. But I had yet to see somebody show and prove.
Okay.
Is that possible? Can you
Yes.
give us a briefing on that?
No
Show that,
problem.
because you know a lot of brothers be online. Say, I did this, I did that, then
Right.
you ask them to show and prove. Well, you know, I went to court the other day, and I'm
right,
still
right,
fighting. You know, I got.
right.
Yeah, I want to. I
Definitely.
want to see how true it is.
All right, sounds good. Yes.
Well,
Please.
my question is like, if we're all on the same page, right? I think that us getting what we deserve would be easier to get because we're all on the same page. We're moving, you know, toward the same goals.
Right.
And as far as like business, economics, social issues, you know, I think that being on the same page, unifying would get us what we deserve, what we need, as
Yes.
opposed to kind of
Yes.
like asking
That's
for
true.
reparations that would be
Right.
hard to get from people who don't want to honor them
Right.
at
But
all.
they're not giving reparations to Negro, blacks, and coloreds. So you're right. That's just what it
Yeah.
is. Because Negro, blacks, and coloreds would possibly attempt to overturn the government. And, you know, the government, even according to the Constitution, they're not giving funds to those in which that would attempt to do so. So we have to come into a humble capacity in order for that to occur.
Indeed.
You know, Prophet Noble Ali said that he would leave the European here long enough in order to show us a government, how to do government. So this is the point now of doing government. So yes, we have to come together in all shape, forms, and fashion by any means necessary in order to accomplish a real goal, which would be reparations.
Gotcha. I mean, the next time you come on, I want to talk about. There's so many directions I can go with this. Like as far as herbs and healing, and
Right.
like we could go. But I want to talk about the UFOs because I don't believe in UFOs at all. I think it's.
Okay.
Nah, I doubt Ron want to do. He doesn't. I
want to take it to the UFO.
That's fine. You haven't had that experience, so you can't speak on it. So yes, I understand.
Yeah. So I want to, build on that at some point eventually.
Behold the Pale Horse. You can start off.
Right. Yeah, I read that.
That's a good book, and there's a book that was written by as a European brother. It's called Moors, Masons, and Aliens.
Yeah, that's Smith.
Yeah, something. I had that book on my Kindle. I have yet to crack it open yet, but I'm going to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out. Have you read it?
Masons.
Yes, I did.
Is it?
Yeah,
it's deep.
Part 2.
It's good.
Part 1 is better than part 2. Yes.
All right, bet.
Part 2, he ended up getting a little bit too complicated when it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, sometimes they tend to do that. Sometimes they go way above their head. But definitely, man.
But his name is Richard Smith.
Richard Smith, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or Rick Smith. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's an interesting combination right there.
Yeah, he said Moors, Masons, and Aliens.
Yeah, that's interesting right there. Now I got to read that.
Yeah, man.
Now I got to read it.
Of course, I got my book out too.
Yeah, man. What's up? What you got, man? Stargate. Where can we find this, brother?
Origin
online.
Can I see? That's your book right there. Can I see? Let me see. Oh wow, that's a
genius.
That's a thick book, man.
500 pages.
But I'm looking for that, man. It's on your website, right?
Yes, it is.
Well, thank you for coming out this evening. We really appreciate you, Dr. Alim Bey. He came with the proof, showed and proved. You see his website right here, www.dralimlbey.com. Check him out. Check out his website. And we are back on, I think, Sunday. I think we have an interview Sunday. And we have an interview Monday, Tuesday. Yo, we both. Yo, peace to everybody who joined in on the chat. Really appreciate y'all. Peace
for real.
Viewers.
Comment, share, like, subscribe. Share it out.
Yes.
Check out Dr. Alim Bey for them herbs.
Spotify. Check us out there. We really appreciate you. Have a good evening. Peace.
Peace. Happy 4th.